The wish list. Item 10. Wishes, as we all know, have a habit of backfiring. King Midas wished that everything he touched would turn to gold, and when the god Dionysus granted his wish, Midas discovered that he could no longer eat, because any food that touched his lips was suddenly a vastly more valuable but absolutely inedible metal. All that gold couldn't stop him starving. They can also, of course, backfire on people other than the wisher. In some versions of the story, Midas's daughter rushes to greet him when he returns from meeting the god, and he unthinkingly embraces her, turning her into a golden statue. Midas is distraught, naturally, but one can't help feeling that this works out worse for the princess. But sometimes a wish can work perfectly and still harm someone, because that wish is that someone should be harmed. Some people can only be happy when others are unhappy. Sometimes this is justified, and sometimes it isn't. The first inkling that Alfie had that something was wrong was when he arrived for work. This time he had remembered his security fob, and this time it didn't matter because it didn't work. The door just made a little electronic farting noise at him and stayed resolutely shut. Fortunately, Maiko was nearly as early as he was, and he could tailgate in after her. The really weird thing, though, was that when she tried his security fob, just as a double check, it worked, and opened the staff kitchen for both of them. Things only got weirder, though, when he went to get a drink from the coffee machine. The drinks were free, but only a certain number of them and only at certain times, so you had to use your security fob to activate the machine. That way the system could check you were on a regulation break and could be allowed a plastic cup of horrid coffee. Maiko got her usual chai latte without any problem, but the machine simply refused to let Alfie have his Americano or espresso. Finally, after trying for a latte and a mocha, he discovered that it would allow him to have a cappuccino, but it wasn't until he'd taken a desperate under-caffeinated mouthful that he realized that instead of milk, the machine had used chicken soup. There are many things improved with coffee flavoring, but chicken soup isn't one of them. And now he had used his regulation pre-shift hot drinker option, and the machine just snubbed any further attempts. Which was just as well, as it turned out, as when he went to the lavatories, it turned out his fob would now only open the ladies' loo. Fortunately, not everyone had arrived yet, and he was able to persuade Maiko to stand guard for his permitted pre-shift bathroom break. It only got worse once his shift actually began. The first object down the conveyor was a lawn chair, not in a box, followed by its various cushions and accessories. Normally, he would have just slapped a label on the packaging as he didn't have any boxes large enough for it, but the order stipulated that it should be, horrifyingly, gift-wrapped, and so he had no choice. It took a good 15 minutes to fashion a larger box out of several smaller boxes and then wrestle the chair into it. The chair did not want to go. It wanted to spring open at inconvenient moments. It wanted to never fold up in the same way twice. It wanted to trap his fingers in its cheap metal hinges and make him swear. And then he ran out of gift wrap. Finally, he got it away, just in time for Rolf to come and officially warn him that he was going too slow and needed to make up his package count for the morning. That was when the unpackaged balance ball came bouncing down the conveyor and hit Rolf in the head. This was momentarily amusing, but soon ceased to be as Rolf yelled at him while he tried to wrap the stupid slippery ball in something that would withstand delivery. The tea set was even less amusing. It started with a single cup, then a saucer, then a cup on a saucer, and then a pile of saucers and a cake stand festooned with cups. He had to assemble the whole set, making sure the number of cups matched the number of saucers and teaspoons before he could swathe the whole thing in paper padding and get it into a box. He had finally sealed it and slapped on the address label when the sugar tongs showed up. Finally, some reasonably normal items. Some underwear. Lacy women's underwear, true, but easier to pack than a tea set. A toy lie detector in its box, and a family-sized bag of cat litter that was almost as big as him. All a lot more usual and straightforward. Into packing, peel off the address label, smooth it on, and then stand and stare at it. Because it was his address. Which was weird because he was not in the habit of wearing intricate underwear. It looked like it needed a sailor's knowledge in knot tying to get it on. He tended towards the more practical and comfortable. underwear you could pull on while still half asleep without needing help finding the right hole to put a foot through. He also did not have a cat or a child. Come to that, he did not need kitty litter or toys. He had not ordered kitty litter or a toy. He pulled out his phone, trying to be as surreptitious as possible because you weren't, of course, supposed to look at your phone during your shift, and checked. No. He had, in fact, ordered kitty litter and a toy, and lacy underwear, apparently. They were right there in his orders in the stocking app, which is when he realized precisely what was going on. He had begun to suspect it, of course, with his misbehaving security fob and the strange choices of the warehouse robots delivering him weird things to package, but this sealed it. It was Nick Close, using his backdoor access to mess with the warehouse systems and Alfie's stocking account to make a point. Because, sure, the underwear was maybe embarrassing if he were 12 years old or a middle-aged man who had been living on his own in a warehouse for years, and the cat litter was maybe a pointed reference with scatological overtones, and the lie detector was definitely a pointed reference to Alfie having brought Nick's brother to the warehouse without telling him first. But those weren't the point Nick was making. Nick was messing with the algorithm. Alfie knew from bitter experience that having ordered such items was going to convince the Stocking.Christmas algorithm that he did, in fact, own a cat and have a child and wear ladies' underwear, or at least know a lady who liked looking like a badly trussed turkey, which he did not. The algorithm didn't care, though. The algorithm was going to go on recommending him cat toys and romper suits and complicated garments for the rest of his life, and there was nothing he could do about it. Nick Close had used the wish list to wish Alfie a miserable time. He had used all his magical power over the warehouse to curse him. He was doomed. He knew it.